Welcome to Eagle Spire Gaming. Today we are painting with Crayon, and that does not mean that we're painting with the wax crayons, coloring sticks. No, I'm Crayon, and I am showing you today some models that we have just painted. I'm going to do a little step-by-step, except for it's going to be a couple steps at the same time. So first we're looking at, and this is the Serperos Overlord Heavy Stalker for Legions Imperialis, and I primed them all white and then put down a base coat of Basilicum Gray. That's a contrast paint, so it goes over everything nice and easy. And then all those panels that, pretty much anything that wasn't the metal or the trim of the thing, I made red. I made that dark red by putting the Blood Angels red contrast over that Basilicum Gray contrast. It gives you a darker red as opposed to a brighter one. And then we moved on to our next steps, which was metallics. And that just, lead belcher on all of it. Anything that was going to be metal was put lead belcher on. And I didn't do any of the trim for that. The trim remained Basilicum Gray. It's pretty much the only thing that remains Basilicum Gray on these guys. And then, of course, it was just Balthazar gold on all of the bronze stuff. And, it was it gets a little difficult, a little tricky getting around all these pieces here, all these legs. I did these all as, a single assembly. I didn't sub-assembly anything for these guys. And, in the future, I think I did 8 of these at one time. In the future, I'd probably find something to leave apart. Maybe not putting the head, the entire face head portion together. But, the first time doing these guys, I didn't really know what I was going to expect there. So break things up a bit with your different metallic colors. And, sometimes I like to, if these were Knights or Titans, I would definitely be putting a third metallic color on these guys just to really, differentiate different components here. In fact, if these were Knights, I'd probably be doing those joints in Basilicum Gray, too, not Basilicum, well, Balthazar Gold. I make my Knight joints, my Knight and Titan joints a different color. But for these guys, with how many of them that you're going to be painting, how many robots in general, and how many of those joints there are, I just didn't want to overload myself with how much work was going to go into them. Next we come back to, you're going to clean your brushes, clean your brush, clean your water. You don't want to mix your metallic paints with your non-metallic paints, because those little flecks of, the shiny metal stuff, that stays in your water, ends up on the brush still, and it goes right into your pot of non-metallic paint. So, clean that all up. And, it was, for me, the order here was to do the Black Legion contrast on all of those, Macandrite, cords and everything, and the connection points between the legs. And then I did, Luxion purple contrast, and I'd already done these with the smaller Stalker bots, so I just kind of followed the same, building pattern there, and pretty much just anything that looked like it might be like, power going along it, or, if energy might be arcing across that surface as this thing is activating and stuff. That was kind of the thought process for those 4 little studs on the back there and all the front part. And then I also kind of went on the underside here, and I put together the cords going to the weapon, the cables going to the weapon, and a little bit of Talisar blue contrast to break things up a little bit. So put those in various spots too. And again, under the belly there, with various cables going to different areas too. And that's, that was the simple way for me to do all this, was just, slap those colors down and get them put on the model real quick. Didn't take too long at all. I think it only took me about a week and a half maybe, with, getting an hour or two here and there. Sometimes less, sometimes I only had a few minutes. But it came together really well in the end. The only step that's left from here that I'm not going to show you is I did a shade of Agrax Earthshade all over everything. Just slapped it on, put it everywhere, got it into all the little bits. There's a couple of spots where I missed it. It does make that lead belcher does turn out to look a lot like your Basilicum Gray. They become very similar in color, but the difference being that metallic-y shine to it. The highlights of it have just a subtle difference to it. But if you want to see the final product on these guys, you're going to have to check out the upcoming Gray Penance video that I will be having posted soon here, probably in the next day or two, hopefully tomorrow. Anyway, that's all the time we have for today. Thanks for watching the video. Hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, leave a thumbs up. Give me a little comment telling me how you liked it, or if there's anything I could do differently with this, and you know, something new that we're gonna try out here. Anyway, you guys have been great. Thanks for flying by.